video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. The story starts in the same place that it always starts, the academy. Now, Naruto wasn't the sharpest brain. He always had a hard time teaching anything. He had nothing and nobody, and perhaps that's what drew Sasuke towards him. Now, Sasuke also had nobody and nothing, but he did have one thing, his skills. Natural prodigious abilities. These he inherited from his Uchiha genes. And due to some past trauma involving his brother, Sasuke could see the world for what it was. However, Sasuke was not changed quite as much as you think. Sasuke, this far-flung world where we find ourselves, chose not to indulge in hatred. He chose not to use his entire life for killing his brother. His dreams were far simpler. He just wanted to bring his clan back. He wanted a future. He wanted to have a family, and this didn't seem out of the question for him by any means. He had suitors like White. He was far too young to be playing that game though, and he knew that he couldn't just coast off the fame that the Uchiha clan had built up in the past. Instead, he needed to build off his own merit, perhaps become a Hokage, grow closer with members of other clans. This led him to Hinata and himself formally as the He consisted of one person. To most, they thought this was adorable, even the other clan heads, but for Sasuke, it wasn't a game. This was serious. He was setting himself up for the future. He wanted his clan to become the most prestigious clan in all of Konoha. That was the focus, and that laser focus was what drew so many girls to him. He knew what he wanted, and he was working tirelessly for it. Naruto, on the other hand, he barely knew what he wanted. To be Hokage? Maybe. This Naruto was a little different. One who would let his loneliness eat at him. One that had grown up never being cared for by the village and its people. He had parents once, but he couldn't remember them, and that was a scar that was rent open for him every night as he laid in bed in a quiet, empty apartment building. As he traveled to school, the adults spat upon him. As he played at the park, the other kids believed him. Why did they hate him? Was it because that couldn't be it. Other orphans too, like Sasuke. So why was it that they hated him? Maybe they hated him because of his sometimes tattoo. He had noticed it every time he would get upset. He had a tattoo on his stomach that would show up only sometimes. So he wanted his sometimes tattoo. It always caused his eyes to turn red. Maybe he was cursed. Perhaps he'd killed his parents. Could be that he was instead. It was for these reasons that Naruto was a bit of a recluse. Well, he was a lot of a recluse. He only had this whenever he went to school. He always stopped by Ichiban ramen to eat. The man there was nice. He always had a smile and especially so that was really the only time Naruto would get elites. Whenever he came to the teacher rarely called on him, and when he did, mostly because anything he did would get him laughed at. If he was wrong, they would laugh. If he was right, the other kids would get angry. So Naruto stopped trying. Because of that, Naruto got a reputation for stupid. On days where he would need to perform in front of the class, he would always come up with an excuse. He had expired milk at the ready for days like that, so he could be legitimately sick and worm his way out. This dog was beaten into a corner, but instead of biting back at the feet that kicked it, the dog just stopped trying. It stayed in the corner. It remained curled up, no longer searching for love or attention. It just didn't want to be kicked again, so it avoided confrontation. This led to Naruto seeming really shy. Many girls would see him laugh as he went down the halls, but there was always one Sakura Haruno. Naruto never noticed her, and if he ever did, he didn't show it. She couldn't help but watch him being tormented. Sakura was a little different as well. Laser focused Sakura as it was without the need of the Sharingan's blessing. She saw how love was a commodity to a martyr. Most tragic of all, she knew that there were some who just couldn't get it. Some who were just she suspected that love was partly to blame for what he was suffering through, because everyone gave it to him. because everyone was too afraid to lose their own. One person made fun, and then another, just to look cool. Then a whole squad did it out of fear of being rejected, and everyone was desensitized by the constant abuse that they were dishing out to realize how they were pushing the fear of not being loved by a child that she actually gave. That moment made her want to cry. As Naruto passed up to his corner in the room, she viewed his face. A face that showed nervousness. A face that said, I don't know if I can keep doing this. As he passed by, her gaze met Sasuke's. He was the only boy in class that shared that same face. A face that didn't laugh. A face that didn't torment. She and he watched Naruto sit down and wait for the class. He hide his face, trying to pretend that he wasn't there as everyone around Sasuke stepped in and stared Naruto. Orange raised his head for a moment and looked over at the last survivor of a dead clan. His eyes were a mix of confusion and fear. A copy of anticipation. A puppy in the corner waiting to be kicked again. Sasuke sat there for a moment. Hi, I'm Sasuke. Those 3 words changed Naruto's life. As simple as they were, those 3 words did save his life. He sat there, his face of confusion. What is this? He asked within himself. Is this a trick? Suddenly, Sakura made her way up and just stood there in front of Naruto's desk. She smiled in a light emotion as Naruto gently recoiled. Hi, she said. Can we sit with you, Naruto? In his head, his mind was set aflame. If there had been smoke detectors in the classroom that actually worked, they would have gone off from all the smoke leaving Naruto's ears. Still, Naruto had said nothing. He had not told his name, yet she knew it. She knew his name and asked if she could sit with him. He was never used to being addressed like this. He hated to hear his own name spoken because generally when someone said Naruto, it was either to make fun of him or to call him out for something he did or didn't do. To a point, he cringed when she asked, but he was also too timid to tell her no. So he nodded with a voice so light that it seemed afraid to be heard. He spoke. Yes. She smiled and Sasuke was already doing things at the time. His face against the wall, closer to the window, as if he was securing an escape route when the voice turned sour. He was still distrustful as time passed. Sasuke would just sit back in his chair, tapping a pencil like a drummer on the long shared desk that he, Naruto, and Sakura shared. Sakura was leaned forward, both elbows on the desk, listening to the teacher. Naruto kept looking at them, wondering when this was going to go back. It always did. Nobody ever wanted to be near him, so why would they start him? Yurika called out to him. Naruto, is Spacey up there? Naruto shook his head. Yurika, if that's the case, what's the answer? Naruto was confused. Yurika cleared his throat as the rest of the class giggled at his cluelessness. This caused Naruto to once again retreat within himself. Yurika repeated, if you were paying attention, what's the answer? Naruto was frozen for a moment. Sasuke looked over to him and whispered, Bridge. Naruto heard it and then looked at Yurika. Kanabi Bridge? His head turned a bit as he heard it and a smile formed. Indeed, that is correct. Seems you were paying attention. Good job, Naruto. Naruto's face lit up. He didn't smile, but his face showed a look as if he were experiencing something for the first time. Positive affirmation. Second time today, someone had said his name, and it wasn't in a negative way. He looked to Sasuke. His eyes told all. Sakura, on the other side